Let's talk about files. So in your dock, the thing that looks like a manila blue folder, that is your files app. And that's sort of how you get to anything you create on your iPad that is a document. So if I tap the files, no, I don't want to take a picture of my lap. Okay. And I tap files, I get, you may actually see recents, but if you tap at the bottom where it says browse, then you pull up all of your files. And it probably actually looks a little bit more like this. And the first time I was in here, I really wanted to be able to like search or sort or change my view, and I couldn't figure out how. So I actually just put my finger like on the area where there's folders and pulled down, and that allowed me to pull down and like add a folder or sort by name or size or tags or however I want to sort. And you can also change your view to list view or grid view or column view if you want as well. And then you can see on the left I can get to my iCloud Drive. So I am signed into my managed ID on my MacBook using my system preferences, and that means that anything I save in iCloud Drive on my MacBook, I can also get to on my iPad. So for example, I actually have my documents and my desktop backed up, and that's something I set up in my system preferences so that if I have a document on my desktop, I can get to it on my iPad, which is really handy. You can also see I have signed into the Google Drive app on my iPad, so I can also get inside my Google Drive and see things that I may have in there as well. I try not to just save things to my iPad directly unless I don't really want them, like these are things I was just playing with, because if something were to happen and my device got wiped, I would lose that stuff. So I never save just on the iPad. I always save to some kind of cloud-based service like iCloud Drive or Google Drive. And you can actually download things to your iPad, which is nice as well. So you have downloads kind of like you do on a MacBook. And then the other nice thing that I like about the files is that you can scan right into the Files app. So if you tap the three dots at the top, you can see that you have options to scan and edit. If I tap edit, I can actually turn on or off certain things. So if you weren't seeing the Google Drive, it may be because it was off. Okay. I can also like reorder like the order that I see everything. So I'm going to turn on, like, I'm going to move that all the way to the bottom because I never do that, right? So you can reorder that however you want. And then when you tap, you see scan. If you scan, it like activates your camera. And scanning is really awesome because like if you had a document that you had copied for students, but you want to be able to annotate on top of that copy, then you can just scan that document right into files. And I'm not going to demonstrate that here, but it's kind of intuitive. So that's another way that you can like edit a document. And because if I did have a document that I wanted to pull up and write on, then I just pull it up, and then if I grab my Apple Pencil and tap the little pencil icon in that upper right hand corner, then my tools pop up. And with those tools, I can actually change like how thick or thin the writing is, and like I can write on things. I can erase. I can highlight. Ooh, that's too big of a highlighter, so I can make it a little smaller. I can change the color, do lots of things. The ruler is kind of cool because you can use your fingers to just basically take that ruler and like move it whatever degree you want and write on things. Math teachers love it. If you tap the plus sign, you can add a text box. You can add your signature or some shapes if you wanted to. So if you did want to add an arrow, you could do that on here. And then the other thing, if you grab the toolbar, you can actually float it on different parts of your screen, which is really awesome. And if you don't want it to show up at all, if you grab it to a corner, it just makes it a little tiny circle that you can come back to when you're ready to have it again. So that's kind of nice as well. So that is annotating on a PDF in your Files app.